All right, let's see where that video goes.
This woman takes the soft, comforting approach.
I'm not bothered by it. Nobody over here is bothered by it.
Thank you. I hope y'all don't plan on having any children.
Like I said, she sounds like a real hater and she's insecure.
And with that, Denise Muldrow is so upset there's nothing holding her back.
She's ignorant.
No, she's not talking about me.
I'm talking about you that's brushing his hair. You are ignorant. Keep your opinions to yourself because you sound stupid. All right? I'm letting you know. Black girl to another black girl, you sound stupid. As much criticism as we went through as a people, you're going to go and do it to the next person? What gives you that right?
Why are you defending a white woman, though?
I don't care what she was. She could be purple. I'm defending a woman, period, point blank. That's what she is. She's a woman. Or maybe you're not. I'm sorry, my bad. She's not a woman. She's a bird. Get out of here, birdie.
Well, before our...
All right. So Denise Muldrow is her name, and she is what we want to be. As leaders, it is not okay to stay silent. If something like that happens in your place of employment and you don't say anything, you're basically saying it's okay. Silence is the same as acceptance. So if you don't say anything, then you're saying that that's acceptable. But the goal is to be like Denise, to speak up, to say something, and not just be quiet like most of the people in there. And that video, there's a much longer version of it that you can watch. And there are several times that no one says anything. That's awful. People should be speaking up. But as a leader, especially, that's your job. Your job is to be the one who speaks up and to get other people then to understand, see things from the right direction, right perspective, and understand that they're being biased. Speak up when the time comes. It's important to do so. That is the job of the leader. Sexual orientation. This is anybody who identifies then as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, questioning, or heterosexual. This is kind of we're focusing now on our gender. We talked about earlier. This isn't necessarily referring to someone's sex, but how they identify. And recreation's a place where it's not work, it's not home, it's not school. It doesn't have all those pressures. You need to be able to really put on your hair and feel comfortable and experience flow, as we've talked about in the past. If they don't feel comfortable, they can't experience flow. They can't really get the most out of recreation. So the important thing here is to provide emotional support, make sure that they feel supported, but also to make sure that they have social opportunities. There's a great article that I read once about a young boy who's transgender who had never been able to be himself. And he went to a recreation camp and for the first time in his life was able to, and it really gave him confidence to be himself elsewhere because of his recreation experience. That's our job, and that's our opportunities to provide that for people. Ability level is a very well-known subject. We have a lot of laws in place now that improve things, but it still comes down to our perception. This is referring to physical ability, cognitive ability. This also includes obesity, acne, attractiveness, thick glasses, things that you can see in someone that people treat as less. It is an unfortunate thing in our society that if you are more attractive, you are more likely to get a good job. If you have thick glasses, people will often think that you're not as intelligent. People that are obese are constantly barraged with negative comments. It's amazing to me how we say it's not okay to pick on someone because they use a wheelchair, not okay to pick on someone because they have a disability or whatever. But it seems like if someone is obese, it's not considered uncouth to be rude to them. But the truth is that that's no different than any of the other differences, any other diversity aspects. And they deserve the same respect. Everyone does. But these are the things that people can see that they consider very important. And again, it is our job to be the one to speak up for what's right and not for what's wrong as leaders. Secondary dimensions are the ones that could change over a person's life. They're not as visible typically, like marital status, parental status, how much money we make, our education level, whether or not we have military experience, our occupation, what we like to do for fun, where we live, our religion. These are things that can change that might not be as visible, but still hold a lot of weight and can make a big difference in a person's life. So as a leader, you have to make sure that you make space for all of these. Make sure that you're taking all these elements of diversity into consideration when you're planning programs and when you're implementing them. Privilege is part of diversity. Each one of us experiences privilege depending on where we are in a diversity spectrum. And some dimensions of diversity are given more weight and they're more highly valued. And all of this is completely unearned. We're not treated better because we have any like better skills or anything, but really just because of the color of our skin or ethnicity or whatever it might be. They're not. It's not something we worked for. It's something we naturally just got. And some people who receive privilege are completely unaware of it. Take these questions, for example. What are the privileges of being white, being male, heterosexual, in your 30s, which is kind of all of society is designed for someone in their 30s, being attractive or able-bodied. Everyone in these categories has privileges. They might not even realize it. It kind of goes back to that unconscious bias idea. You have to be aware of it. Awareness is a big key to being a leader. Understanding where you stand, being able to see different things from different people's perspectives and being able to see things that people are just different. Being able to see them and notice the minority and stand up for them. Also make sure that they are not frustrated, confused, or alone. It's the worst thing for them is to feel alone, and nobody wants to feel alone. We talked earlier about those steps to the steps to becoming culturally competent, from denial to integrating. Some of the things you can do to improve on that is to learn more through discovery and enlightenment. Do a cultural audit, figure out where you're at. Explore things, and then always be checking in to make sure you are where you need to be, because there's constant changes. You're never done. We already watched this video, so I'm just going to skip past it really quick. But that's the goal, is to become an inclusive leader on that continuum of cultural competence. Become the kind of leader that reaches everyone, that can make everyone feel comfortable. Understand that everyone's interdependent. All the different kinds of people, we need our differences, in fact. But just be universally accepting and understanding of people that are different from you. Live by example and make sure that you are the leader that everybody needs, the inclusive leader that's going to help celebrate differences and bring people together.